What's going on, guys? We're back. We're going to look at the Avacyn Glory deck analysis. This is going to be a creature token based deck, and let's get on with it. So, first off is Mikaeus the Lunarch. Enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. So you cast it for 4 mana, he enters the battlefield with 3 counters. Then you can remove a counter to put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Champion of the Parish. 4 of, absolutely. Every time you play a human, he gets bigger, and there's spells that put out multiple humans, so he is huge. He can do a lot of damage really fast. Doom Traveler. Dies, you put out a 1/1 spirit. Not bad. This deck is about tokens, token generation. Good. Sacrifice him, and you get a 1/1, or all your creatures get +1/+1 to end the turn. Not the greatest thing. I was distracted by the picture. I was trying to figure out what it was, and it looks like he just kind of is going to put his head in there and then kill himself. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of him. Soul Warden. We have a lot of 1-drops already. Soul Warden's not really, like, Soul Warden gets us life, but Soul Warden's not really a dude. It's a human, though, so I might leave the Soul Warden in there. I don't know, we're going to see. Path to Exile, solid removal spell, absolutely has to be in there. Prevent all damage, target spell would deal, you gain life equal damage, prevent this way, no thank you. Okay, so that puts us at 12 1-drops. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 12 1-drops. It's a little too many, but at the same time, we'll live. Thalia, non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. Awesome. You have a few non-creature spells, but at the same time, it's a 2/1 first strike for 2 mana. It can really mess up your opponent sometimes. It's a good way to stay alive during the dodge and burn until you can get your creatures big enough to live. So I'm definitely going to say yes to Thalia. Knight of the White Orchid is a great card when you go second. If your opponent has more lands than you, you can cast them on turn 3 before you play your land and get an extra land, then play a land and go up to 4 and be ahead of your opponent. So the Knight of the White Orchid is absolutely amazing. Elite Inquisitor. Protection from vampires, werewolves, zombies. Doesn't have protection from demons, so I'm going to say no on him. He's a 2/2 first strike vigilance for 2 mana, which is awesome. But at the same time, we probably don't need him. Grand Abolisher. During your turn, your opponent can't cast spells, activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. He's a human. Awesome. That's a good way to prevent the dodge and burn from getting too far ahead of you. Because if you can get him out there, then they can't deal with you. We cut out a 2/2 vigilance first strike, so I'm going to cut out vigilance right away. Unruly Mob. Whenever you cast, or whenever another creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on him. Not that great. Honor of the Pure is absolutely necessary for this deck. It's a way that you keep out of the burn range of dodge and burn, and the board wipe and everything else that everyone else has. If you can get above 3 or 4 toughness, you're probably going to live. Bonds of Faith. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 as long as it's a human. Otherwise, it can't attack or block. It's a kind of sort of removal spell. It's a pacifism, but it helps you if you need it to. I don't know if we need it, though. Like, we have 3 Path to Exiles already. That's probably more than enough removal in this creature style based deck. I don't know. We'll take a look at it in a little bit. Gather the Townsfolk. I'm going to do 3 of as for now. We might come back and grab another one. We might put another one into the thing. But it just puts out 2 1/1s. If we have 5 or less life, it puts out 5 1/1s. So it's interesting. Mentor the Meek. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield with power 2 or less, you pay 1, draw a card. It's not bad. 2 mana, or 3 mana for a 2/2. It's not the worst thing in the world. The Doomsayer. I do like the Doomsayer. Because if you do get to the point where you have 5 or less life, other creatures you control get +2/+2. So he starts putting out 3/3s. And it's just a good way to get back into the game. Fiend Hunter is a removal spell, which is also another reason I don't feel like we need that. So we're up to 6 removal spells. Fiend Slayer is amazing. I like Fiend Slayer. I do enjoy Fiend Slayer quite a bit. Midnight Guard enters battlefield, untap, or whenever another creature enters battlefield, you untap it. No thank you. When he dies, you put out a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. If it's a human, you put out 2. No thanks. He's a little expensive. I mean, he's got some options, but the deck's power comes in its 5 mana cost, which, when you saw me playing it, I actually didn't even have the cards in here, which is bad. But O-Ring is another good removal spell. Resto Angel, great way to remove a creature that is going to be killed. Whenever another creature enters battlefield you control, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. I might leave him in there for now because we do have I can just pump my creatures to power and get out of control with it. So it's not bad. I do like it. It's a little expensive. It's a 4 mana 2/2, but we'll see what happens with the rest of the deck. Elite Inquisitor dies, you get a 1/1. I'm not a fan of this guy. He's a 2/2 for 4 mana, and you get a 1/1, where we can get a 1/1 for 1 mana and get a 1/1. So that's a little bit better for me. Seraph of the Dawn, Flying Lifelink, 2/4, not the greatest thing in the world. Just kind of generic. Gain 7 life, no thanks. Angelic Overseer is amazing as long as you have a human. It is hexproof and indestructible, so it is a very hard creature for them to deal with, and you just leave out like a little 1/1. Baneslayer Angel lets you deal with the stupid demons in the mono black deck, so I definitely run Baneslayer. Geist Honored Monk is also a very solid card. It puts out 2 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, so it's at least a 3/3. But if you have more creatures out, then it just gets exponentially bigger. Ring of 3 Wishes is not that good, so we're going to get rid of the Ring of 3 Wishes. Increasing Devotion. Put 5 1/1 white human creature tokens on the battlefield if Increasing Devotion was cast from your graveyard. Put 10 into the battlefield instead. So that makes that 4/4, or that 2/2 for 4 mana that we kept in earlier, ridiculous. And also, if you do get to cast it from your graveyard, you're just going to win. So I'm going to keep that in there. Hallowed Burial, put all creatures on the bottom of their owner's library. No thank you. We have probably more creatures than anyone else ever. Requiem Angel. Whenever another non-spirit creature token dies, you put out a 1/1. It's 6 mana. No thank you. Enters battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. No thank you. It's a lot of mana for that ability. And I mean, you can cast it during your first main phase, but like I said, you're probably okay because you're just making a ton of tokens and blocking with stuff. Dearly Departed is in your graveyard. Each human creature you control enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. It's a little expensive, and it has to die, so I'm going to say no. Deathless Angel gains indestructible, 6 mana for a 5/7, no thank you. Twilight Shepherd enters the battlefield. Return to your hand all cards in the graveyard that are put there from the battlefield this turn. Persist. So it's a great way to survive a board wipe, but the board wipe actually has to kill her too, so no thanks. Voice of Province enters the battlefield. Put a 1/1 white human creature token on the battlefield. No thank you. Very expensive. Martyr Bond or another non-land permanent you control is put in the graveyard from the battlefield. Each opponent sacrifices a permanent that shares a card type with it. So a creature dies, they sack a creature. So it's not bad, but it's a lot of mana, so I'm going to say no. We still have 9 cards to get rid of. Archangel, very expensive for a 5/5. Flying Vigilance, no thank you. Tap any number of untapped creatures you control, put a 4/4 white creature token on the battlefield. For each creature tapped this way. It's very expensive, and you should be winning the game before you get to these points in the game. Flying Vigilance, indestructible. Other permanents you control have indestructible. I mean, that's huge, but I mean, we're probably going to have indestructible anyway because of the Angelic Overseers. So 5 cards. 5 cards. We want to keep the 24 lands for sure. Let's see what we want to get rid of, though. Let's see. Soul Wardens are humans, so I'm okay with them being in the deck. 5 mana, or 5 cards. Let's see. I'm gonna get rid of the 2 O-rings because we have 6 removal spells, and that should be enough. I mean, they're not solid removal spells, but they're pretty good. I'm going to get rid of 1 Gather the Townsfolk, and I'm going to get rid of 2 of something else. Maybe the 2 Soul Wardens, I think. The Soul Wardens are awesome, but at the same time, you're going to gain a ton of life. You're probably going to gain like 7 or 8 life a game. I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. So, that also kind of evens out our curve a little bit. We have 10 1-drops, 2-drops, and then we just kind of whoop. But I mean, it's meant to be aggressive. It's meant to drop a lot of creatures very quickly, and Soul Warden just does not make the cut, I don't think. So, let's go over the list. We got 1 Mikaeus, 4 Champions, 2 Doom Travelers, 3 Path to Exiles, 2 Thalias, 1 Knight of the White Orchid, 1 Great Abolisher, 3 Honor of the Pure, 2 Gather the Townsfolk, 2 Mentor of the Meek, 1 Therian Doomsayer, 3 Fiend Slayer or Fiend Hunters, 1 Restoration Angel, 2 Gold Knight Commanders, 2 Angelic Overseers, 2 Baneslayer Angels, 2 Geist Honored Monk, 2 Increasing Devotions. So, seems pretty solid to me. Let me know what you guys think of the list, and I'll see you guys for the next expansion. See you guys later. Bye.